Daily Bible reading for April 29th, 2026. Let's see, today's day 188. Yep. Alright, let's do it. Let's get into the word. David escapes through the wilderness. 2 Samuel 17:15 through 29. Hushai told Zadok and Abiathar the priests what Ahithophel said to Absalom and the elders of Israel, and what he himself had advised instead. Quick, he told them, find David and urge him not to stay at the shallows of the Jordan River tonight. He must go across at once to the wilderness beyond. Otherwise he will die, and his entire family, or his entire army with him. Jonathan and Ahimaaz had been staying at En-Rogel so as not to be seen entering and leaving the city. Arrangements had been made for a servant girl to bring them the message that they were to take to King David, but a boy spotted them at En-Rogel, and he told Absalom about it. So they quickly escaped to Bahurim, where a man hid them down inside a well in his courtyard. The man's wife put a cloth over the top of the well and scattered grain on it to dry it in the sun, so no one suspected that they were there. When Absalom's men arrived, they asked her, have you seen Ahimaaz and Jonathan? The woman replied, they were here, but they crossed over the brook. Absalom's men looked for them without success and then returned to Jerusalem. Then the two men crawled out of the well and hurried on to King David. Quick, they told him, cross the Jordan tonight. And they told him how Ahithophel had advised that he be captured and killed. So David and all the people with him went across the Jordan River during the night, and they were on the other bank before dawn. When Ahithophel realized that his advice had not been followed, he saddled his donkey, went to his hometown, and set his affairs in order, and hanged himself. He died there and was buried in the family tomb. David soon arrived at Mahanaim. By now, Absalom had mobilized the entire army of Israel and was leading his troops across the Jordan River. Absalom had appointed Amasa the commander of his army, replacing Joab, who had been commander under David. Amasa was Joab's cousin. His father was Jether, an Ishmaelite. His mother, Abigail, daughter of Nahash, was the sister of Joab's mother, Zeruiah. Absalom and the Israelite army set up camp in the land of Gilead. When David arrived in Mahanaim, he was warmly greeted by Shobi, son of Nahash, who came from Rabbah of the Ammonites, and by Machir, son of Amiel, from Lo-Debar, and by Barzillai of Gilead from Roglim. They brought sleeping mats, cooking pots, serving bowls, wheat and barley, flour and roasted grain, beans, lentils, honey, butter, sheep, goats, and cheese for David and those who were with him. For they said, you must be very hungry and tired and thirsty after your long march into the wilderness. Psalm 3, a psalm of David regarding the time David fled from his son Absalom. O Lord, I have so many enemies, so many that are against me. So many are saying, God will never rescue him. But you, O Lord, are a shield around me. You are my glory, the one who holds my head high. I cried out to the Lord, and he answered me from his holy mountain. I laid down and slept. Yet I woke up in safety, for the Lord was watching over me. I am not afraid of 10,000 enemies who surround me on every side. Arise, O Lord, rescue me, my God. Slap all my enemies in the face, shatter the teeth of all the wicked. Victory comes from you, O Lord. May you bless your people. Psalm 63, a psalm of David regarding a time when David was in the wilderness of Judah. O God, you are my God. I earnestly search for you. My soul thirsts for you. My whole body longs for you. In this parched and weary land where there is no water, I have seen you in your sanctuary and gazed upon your power and glory. Your unfailing love is better than life itself. How I praise you. I will praise you as long as I live, lifting up my hands to you in prayer. You satisfy me more than the richest feast. I will praise you with songs of joy. I lie awake thinking of you, meditating on you through the night, because you are my helper. I sing for joy in the shadow of your wings. I cling to you. Your strong right hand holds me securely. But those plotting to destroy me will come to ruin. They will go down into the depths of the earth. They will die by the sword and become the food of jackals. But the king will rejoice in God. All who trust him will praise him, while liars will be silenced. Absalom's defeat and death. 2 Samuel 18, 1-18. David now mustered the men who were with him and appointed generals and captains to lead them. He sent the troops out in 3 groups, placing one group under Job, one under Job's brother Abishai and son of Zeruiah, and one under Ittai, the man from Gath. The king told his troops, I am going out with you. But his men objected strongly. You must not go, they urged. If we have to turn and run, and even if half of us die, it will make no difference to Absalom's troops. They will be looking only for you. You are worth 10,000 of us, and it is better that you stay here in the town and send help if we need it. If you think that's the best plan, I'll do it, the king answered. So he stood alongside the gate of the town as all the troops marched out in groups of hundreds and thousands. And the king gave his command to Job, Abishai, and Ittai, for my sake, deal gently with young Absalom. All the troops heard the king give this order to his commanders. So the battle began in the forest of Ephraim, and the Israelite troops were beaten back by David's men. There was a great slaughter that day, and 20,000 men laid down their lives. The battle raged all across the countryside, and more men died because of the forest than were killed by the sword. During the battle, Absalom happened to come upon some of David's men. He tried to escape on his mule, but as he rode beneath the thick branches of the great tree, his hair caught in the tree. His mule kept going and left him dangling in the air. One of David's men saw what happened and told Job, I saw Absalom dangling from a great tree. What? Job demanded. You saw him there and didn't kill him? I would have rewarded you with 10 pieces of silver and a hero's belt. I would not kill the king's son for even 1,000 pieces of silver, the man replied to Job. We all heard the king say to you and Abishai and Ittai, for my sake, please spare young Absalom. And if I had betrayed the king by killing his son, and the king would certainly find out who did it, you yourself would be the first to abandon me. Enough of this nonsense, Job said. Then he took 3 daggers and plunged them into Absalom's heart as he dangled, still alive, in the great tree. 10 of Job's young armor-bearers then surrounded Absalom and killed him. Then Job blew the ram's horn, and his men returned from chasing the army of Israel. They threw Absalom's body into a deep pit in the forest and piled a great heap of stones over it, and all Israel fled to their homes. During his lifetime, Absalom had built a monument to himself in the king's valley, for he said, I have no son to carry on my name. He named the monument after himself, and it is known as Absalom's monument to this day. David mourns Absalom's death. 2 Samuel 18:19-33. Then Zadok, son of Ahimaaz, said, Let me run to the king with the good news that the Lord has rescued him from his enemies. No, Job told him, it wouldn't be good news to tell the king his son is dead. You can be my messenger another time, but not today. Then Job said to a man from Ethiopia, Go tell the king what you have seen. And the man bowed and ran off. But Ahimaaz continued to plead with Job, Whatever happens, please let me go. Why should you go, my son? Job replied, There will be no reward for your news. Yes, but let me go anyway, he begged. Job finally said, All right, go ahead. So Ahimaaz took the less demanding route by way of the plain and ran to Mahanaim ahead of the Ethiopian. While David was sitting between the inner and outer gates of the town, the watchman climbed to the roof of the gateway by the wall. As he looked, he saw a lone man running toward them. He shouted the news down to David, and the king replied, "If he is alone, he has news." As the messenger came closer, the watchman saw another man running toward them. He shouted, "Here comes another one." The king replied, "He will also have news." So the first man runs like Ahimaaz, son of Zadok. The watchman said, "He is a good man and comes with good news." The king replied. Then Ahimaaz cried out to the king, "Everything is all right." He bowed before the king with his face to the ground and said, "Praise the Lord, your God, who handed over the rebels who dared to stand against my lord the king. What about young Absalom?" The king demanded. "Is he all right?" But Ahimaaz replied, "When Job told me to come, there was a lot of commotion, but I didn't know what was happening." "Wait here," the king told him. So Ahimaaz stepped aside. Then the man from Ethiopia arrived and said, "I have good news for my lord the king. Today the Lord has rescued you from all those who rebelled against you. What about young Absalom?" The king replied, or demanded, "Is he all right?" And the Ethiopian replied, "May all of your enemies, my lord the king, both now and in the future, share the fate of that young man." The king was overcome with emotion. He went up into the room over the gateway and burst into tears. As he went, he cried, "Oh, my son Absalom, if only I had died instead of you. Oh, Absalom, my son, my son." Job rebukes the king. 2 Samuel 19, 1-14. Word soon reached Job that the king was weeping and mourning Absalom. As the people heard the king's deep grief for his son, the joy of that day's victory was turned to deep sadness. They crept back into the town that day as if they were ashamed and had deserted in battle. They were ashamed. Okay. The king covered his face with his hands and kept crying, "Oh, my son Absalom." Then Job went to the king's room and said to him, "We saved your life today and the lives of your sons, your daughters, and your wives and concubines, yet you act like this, making us feel ashamed of ourselves. You seem to love those who hate you and hate those who love you. You have made it clear today that your commanders and troops mean nothing to you. It seems that if Absalom lived and that all of us had died, you would be pleased. Now go out there and congratulate your troops, for I swear by the Lord, if you don't go out, not a single one of them will remain here tonight. Then you will be worse off than ever before." So the king went out and took his seat at the town gate, and as the news spread throughout the town that he was there, everyone went to him. Meanwhile, the Israelites who had supported Absalom fled to their homes. And throughout all the tribes of Israel there was much discussion and argument going on. The people were saying, "The king rescued us from our enemies and saved us from the Philistines, but Absalom chased him out of the country. Now Absalom, whom we anointed to rule over us, is dead. Why not ask David to come back and be our king again?" Then King David sent Zadok and Abiathar the priest to say to the elders of Judah, "Why are you the last ones to welcome the king into his palace? For I have heard that all Israel is ready. You are my relatives, my own tribe, my own flesh and blood. So why are you the last ones to welcome back the king?" And David told them to tell Amasa, "Since you are my own flesh and blood, like Job, may God strike me and even kill me if I do not appoint you as commander of my army in this place." Then Amasa convinced all the men of Judah, and they responded unanimously. They sent word to the king, "Return to us, bring us back all who are with you." David's return to Jerusalem, 2 Samuel 19:15-18a. So the king started back to Jerusalem, and when he arrived at the Jordan River, the people of Judah came to Gilgal to meet him and escort him across the river.